Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Women's Cave. That's WOMENS apostrophe. Yes, the one that's incorrectly spelled and wrong for English. By the way, I write books. Go figure. Wrong spelled word, and I write books. I guess that means I have misspelled books. No, that's not true. I don't have misspelled books. They're well edited. Anyway, I should probably tell you what those books are. I'm Wilnona, by the way, and normally there would be a Jade, but Jade is on bed rest. That feels serious. Now, it's like the first time I've said it like out loud on like an interview or anything. That feels real serious. Okay, now I'm done. That was a moment of silence for the seriousness of the gravity of that illness. Moving on. The books are the Misfit Guide and the And I Thought series. We have And I Thought Divorce Was Bad. Woohoo! And I Thought He Was the One is around here somewhere. And then we have the Misfit Guide, the Sassy Sway that leaves the crooked footprints. And we also have the Cocktail Soirees and the LBD. Let me just mention real quick that And I Thought Divorce Was Bad and I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy are audiobooks. So please check them out on audible.com. Listen to the wonderful voice of, hold on. I know her name, Jo Sands. Her name is Jo Sands. And she reads our words because she actually makes them come alive. Go figure. And you can find everything that your ladies are up to at www.andwethought.com. Buy the books on barnesandnobles.com and amazon.com. Oh, wait. And for the ones that you want to listen to, that's not my voice, read by Jo Sands, there's audible.com. Ooh. All the plugs and promotions are now done. And you don't want to hear anything else about me, I'm sure. But you probably want to hear from our wonderful guest. So, wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hey, my name is Gina Yarish. Excuse me. My name is Gina Yarish, and I'm a best-selling author as well as a motivational coach and accelerator.
Yup. And she deals with a subject that's just so useful for my life. Or it's probably useful for everyone's life nowadays, now I'm thinking about it. Unless you're a baby and you need your diaper changed. I think that's the only time that they may be stressed. Wait, I'm stressed then too. On the food part, not the diaper change. I don't wear diapers. But the food part, when I'm hungry. I can understand the baby stress. Let's move on to like actually talking about you, not baby. So Gina, can I ask, after all these years, why did you decide to write a book about dealing with stress?
Interesting. Well, a lot of people had kept, coming to me asking me about, well, how do you do it? What is it that you do? What can I do to make stress a little bit, less stressful in my life? And so, there's only so many times that you can be asked and you find yourself repeating over and over again. And like yourself, you talk about, spelling. My worst subject in school was English, but, here we go. We put a book together and now it's a #1 bestseller. And, it's just a simple methodology, and what we know as what we've branded is focus forward.
Focus forward.
Excuse me?
Focus forward. I love it.
Focus forward. Yeah. And when we're focusing forward, it's like reconditioning your mind to think in a new way and learning how to reverse engineer, which creates good stress. And good stress, most people think that stress isn't, like all stress is bad. No, that's not true. There is something called good stress, and we can generate it by thinking about the things that we want versus doing them.
Oh. So good stress would be like a Cabana boy and thinking about what drink order I'm going to make.
Well, I don't know. Would that be stressful?
Oh, it is always stressful because, you can never decide. Do I want the daiquiri or in pina colada, or do I want it with a margarita swirl, or do I want my margarita with a sangria swirl? And then you don't want to drink too much because the people are around. So it's a stressful decision, but you're going to.
Well, it sounds like the decision is stressful, not so much the drinks.
Well, that comes later. One too many, the drinks are stressful too. I'm sorry. Let me get back on track. And let's ask the second question. Hold on. Oh, crap. I'm hoping I remember it. Oh, yes, I do remember it. Why do you feel that people are more stressed now? Or is it just like we are more likely to see the stress now?
Well, that's a really good question. I think as time has evolved, right, life is a lot more complicated in this generation than it has been in past generations. In my generation, we grew up in an environment where, it was centered either around church or a veterans hall, and you didn't have as many options as you have today. Children were maybe involved in one curricular, activity, not 5 and 6. And so we've kind of like brought it on ourselves, and, everyone's competing against what they say the Joneses, right? And so over time, it's just escalated because no one's ever really been taught how to create good stress in their life. But in turns, the patterns and habits that we've had, we've only created the bad stress.
This is not one of the questions that I was supposed to ask, but do you mind if I go off script a moment?
No, knock yourself out.
Okay, you've talked about good stress and focus forward.
Mm-hmm.
These are two things I feel need to be pulled out and, put in the glossary of Gina. So can you give us a definition?
So, good stress would be anything that gets you excited, like you have a new job, you're going on vacation, you're reaching your goals. Those kind of things would be considered good stress. Your child has done something and they won a championship game, right? One of your children or your siblings are getting married. That would be good stress. You're excited about something positive that's happening in life. And then the other part of it is focus forward. Well, the focus forward technique, what we do is it's reconditioning one's thinking about an end result. And so if we look out, one of the we spend in the United States over $300 billion treating stress. That's a huge number. And they say the Gallup test says that over 55% of Americans are considered to be stressed. Those are big numbers. That means 50% of our population. You also have not only that, but you have more people today that are diagnosed and have medicine than ever before. So these are all really big problems. Stress is an epidemic. And what we're realizing is that between stress, anxiety, and depression is if you think about the thinking patterns, it's usually of what's happening now, what's happening in the past, right? Because we keep talking about what was, and then worrying about something that we have no control over. And so if we were to ask ourselves, well, Nona, are those patterns uplifting or draining? What would you say?
Draining.
Yeah. And so if it's draining, then you want to think of it as it's just sucking life out of you. So the patterns that we're thinking are really just sucking our energy, is causing fatigue. It's pulling us backward instead of spiraling upward. And so we have to recondition the way we think. And so if we were to say, okay, well, even if it was 1 year from now, and in the beginning it's a little hard, like anything else, when you first start a diet or whatever, but it's hard to start thinking, well, what would you want to create a year from now? What would you want to be different? And in the book, we talk about 4 quadrants of life. There's only 4 basics. I mean, people can break them down into so many different areas, but it's career, relationship, health, and even most importantly is time, money, freedom, right? We want to work towards having the time and freedom to be able to do what it is that we want to do. And so if we took those 4 quadrants and said, if you wanted something to be better, or be more fulfilled, or be more peaceful, what would it look like in a year from now? And most often, the first thing that people say to me is, I really never thought of that before. Here's the problem, right? And so this is where the focus forward technique comes in. We learn to think out a year. We learn to think out 3 years. I'm thinking out 20, 25 years, creating generational wealth right now. So you start to condition your mind to think in the way you wanted to versus, one of my mentors once said, you got to tame the monkey. Sometimes you've got the jumping monkey that's going all over the place. And so the focus forward technique is really about thinking from an end result that you want to create and learning how to reverse engineer it. And that's what starts to create the good stress.
I don't know. I have stuff to say, but I don't want to step on any toes, so I'm not saying it. No, I lied. It's Nona. Without Jade, she's going to say it. Oh, please. So no, anyway, I was thinking about the fact that I know that when people ask us how we got to where we are, I say, well, most of the time I didn't think that hard to be like, oh, next year I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. No, I came into the thing, into what we're doing with a goal. Mm-hmm. And then that's what you do, is you reverse engineer it. Mm-hmm. And I say anything that we decide to do, if it's something that you can't figure out in 3 to 8 steps, then it's probably too stressful for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't do it. Figure out your big goal. Figure out a way to do it. Figure out the stepping stones that are just going to take you to your goal. And no, it's not your biggest goal, but it is the goal for like this year. And then you can worry about the goal for next year. It's kind of like that, but it keeps you happy because you see yourself moving toward it. Is this like the forward thinking that you're talking about?
Yeah, but look at it this way, right? If we were able to take that same thinking and generate an idea that would be 3 years out, right? How the same amount of energy that you have to put forth to do that little goal, you have to put forth to do that big goal. And so that's where we can go further, faster with less efforts. And that's how people become more and more successful. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a narcissist. You know I'm about to bring it back to me, right?
That's okay.
So when I came into this business about 3 years ago, I said that it's 4 years now. I wanted a movie. In May, my movie premieres. Mm-hmm. It's not the movie I specifically wanted, but it was a movie it's a movie nevertheless.
Yeah.
So each year, the goal for that year got me closer to the goal for, actually, I thought it would take me 10. I'm hearing 4.
See what I mean? But you had to think big. Yeah.
And I started, and I was like, I thought I would have 6 more years to go.
No, and so the goals, as you begin to do them, you get to a point where you go, wow, like, I don't know if I can think of anything bigger. And
I immediately did. As soon as I signed the deal, I was like, I originally came in for something bigger, and now we're working on that.
Yeah, but, you know, it's amazing that people have a really hard time thinking in that direction. And balancing life, right? Because we could be, if you took a wheel and you put some spokes on it, right? And we said, well, this is my career, this is my relationships, this is my time, money, freedom, and this is my health, right? How much time do you spend in each one of them? And then how would your wheel roll?
Exactly. I love that. I love that analogy. Yeah, because when you look at a wheel, you recognize all the spokes. We just had a malfunction in the studio. And there's now smoke. Okay. So it was wonderful chatting with you. So do you want to tell everyone where they can find out more information about you?
Absolutely. You can go to www.ginayarish.com, which is GINAYARRISH. And obviously you can go right to Amazon and get our book, which is Harness Your Purpose, Power, and Peace.
Okay, and you can find everything about your ladies at www.andwethought.com. When you go to the ladies page, you will see the charities that we proudly support. I'm not going through the full explanation. Please, you guys support those charities. And remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. And right now, my wisdom is telling me to deal with said smoke. So I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye-bye.